What up, y'all? This is Tracy from Nerd Squish, and today we're going to talk about the 2024 Texas Renaissance Festival season. Did you hear that terrible sippy ASMR? Gross. It was the 50th anniversary of the festival this year, and I saw and experienced tons of new things, which is kind of wild considering how often I have been to this festival. First and foremost, we have never been for Celtic Christmas, which is of course the final weekend of the festival, the only weekend of the festival that is 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Confession time, we didn't go Sunday, okay? By the time we got to that day, I was mentally, physically, and financially exhausted, and so was the rest of the crew, so we opted out on that day. That being said, we had an absolute fantastic time at the festival this whole year and for Celtic Christmas. We've been for many themed weekends. Primarily, we're usually there for Pirate Weekend, but I gotta say, Celtic Christmas is pretty darn magical. The Christmas lights strung up everywhere, the creative old Saint Nick costumes, the Christmas magic was everywhere you looked. So for this final Texas Renaissance Festival video of the 2024 season, I didn't want to just do another vlog where I'm stumbling around the fairgrounds, drinking mead, and having strange experiences with people. Also didn't get enough footage because tired, drinking, didn't go on Sunday, so I figured I would take the footage from Celtic Christmas and maybe incorporate some of the others just to kind of do a wrap up on the season since it was the 50th, and that's pretty darn big. So with that, let's talk about some of the other first time experiences I had at TRF this year. Another little sippy. Oh yeah, I'm gonna need that. Now, it's common knowledge at this point that TRF is the nation's largest Renaissance festival. But I don't really think you understand how big it is until you actually go, until you're there. I've been multiple times since I moved to Texas in 2022, and this year alone I went to the festival for a total of 6 days. And I still stumble upon new places every single time I go. Even though they've been there, it's so dang big, you can't see it all. You can't, okay? So imagine my surprise when we stumbled upon my new favorite hangout, sorry Sea Devil Tavern, the Prince of Wales pub. Now, I've probably passed this place 100 times, but just never walked inside. But the second I stepped foot in this establishment, I knew it was my new obsession. When we entered the building, there was this random bard just performing sea shanties for a group of pirates. Hey, hey, when she rises, hey, hey, when she rises, hey, hey, when she rises early in the morning. And the best part of it is he wasn't somebody with the festival. He wasn't one of the official performers. This is just a random dude that decided he was gonna go to the festival, he was gonna bring a guitar, and he was just gonna entertain the masses because he's a literal hero. And I'm sorry, dude, we talked to you, we bought you beers, I don't remember your name, but if by some chance you are watching this video, I'm sending you all the sweet high fives because you made our day. Like, that was the most magical, fun experience that I've ever had at the festival. Even if you go when there's not someone performing sea shanties, this is an excellent place to get out of the sun, rest your bum, and drink some mead before you go back out into the madness of the festival. Seriously, both times I was in this pub, it was really never too crowded. I mean, sure, there were people in there were patrons at the tables buying drinks, buying fish and chips, but you're not sardined in there like you are these big popular pubs that people seem to go to every year. And perhaps that's because this particular place is a 21 and up establishment, but either way, I cannot wait to go back to this pub next year.
I got my mind set on you when I was a young boy.
And the Prince of Wales wasn't the only pub that we experienced for the first time this year. We actually stopped at the Thirsty Pirate, like officially, not just stopping by for the little photo op in the frame, but we stopped at the pub and saw the Taste of the Seas perform on the stage. This huge pirate bar is the newest at the festival. It just opened in 2022. And the family that owns this establishment has been a part of the festival for 48 years. You know the infamous empanada lady, Lygia Giles? This is her family that owns this. And her son Bobby is the one that designed this amazing pirate-themed bar. It's one of the biggest buildings at the festival. It can seat 700 and have 300 people standing for a total of 1,000 people. That's huge. The great thing about this bar, besides its pirate theming, is that it has 64 beers on tap as well as pirate-themed entertainment. Now, if you've watched any of the TRF videos here at Nerd Squish before, you know that I love a pirate-themed bar and I love pirate-themed entertainment. Therefore, I love the Sea Devil Tavern. So it was really hard for me to get on board with the Thirsty Pirate Pub for many different reasons. While this bar is bigger, it just didn't have the vibes that the Sea Devil provided. For some reason, the Sea Devil, you can go on the hottest day of the year and you just always feel like you're shaded. There's tons of trees around and like they have like canopy thingies, I don't know what they're called, but to help with the shade, and it just, I don't know, it just feels like a vibe. Whereas Thirsty Pirate, I felt like every time I attempted to go over there, the sun was just like burning into my soul, so it was just never something I sought out. But this year, since we were going as much as we did, I wanted to try things that I had never tried before at the festival, so that meant I had to let the sun burn me to a crisp to experience this. But I was very happy that we did. We watched the performing group The Taste of the Seas, which is like a pirate-themed burlesque show, which I never had a desire to watch because, you know, in my opinion, unless you're watching Dita Von Teese, if you've seen one burlesque show, you've kind of seen them all.
What shall we do with a drunken sailor? What shall we do with a drunken sailor? Early in the morning, way, hey, up she rises, hey, hey, up she rises, way, hey, up she rises, early in the morning. What shall we do with a drunken sailor? What shall we do with a drunken sailor? Early in the morning. Shot, 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 everybody!
But I was wrong. This was actually a really fun show, and it ended in a dance party. And if you know me, I can't resist a good dance party. Now, speaking of the empanada lady, I finally tried her empanadas. Cause even though this is like the quintessential snack of TRF for some reason, we never tried it, okay? So we happened to be passing by and we're like, you know what? It's time. And it was good, but it definitely wasn't an empanada. Now, Lady Ligia is the first person to tell you that when she started making these, she had no idea how to make an empanada, and that shows. Look, I'm not trying to poo-poo on the empanada lady, okay? She's basically royalty at this festival, but this snack that I was sold was basically a chili meat pie. An empanada is a pastry common in Spain that's filled with meat and vegetables. This was literally chili, like in a pastry. Chili with beans, so it wasn't even really like a Texas chili. I don't know, altogether very confusing. Now, again, it was good. It wasn't gross. After a lot of meat, I enjoyed eating it, but is it something that I would go to again? Definitely not. Because here's the thing, I tried a lot of new food at the festival this year. Crawfish fries, a loaded potato, this amazing pizza. But when I'm at a place that sells like this fried alligator on a stick, that's what I'm gonna get. I'm gonna get fried alligator on a stick because it's the best snack at the Texas Renaissance Festival. Changed my mind.
Is this my 50th gator on a stick this season? Yeah, it is. You already know.
All right, going back to the subject of pirate bars, we finally saw the Pride of Bedlam pub sing for the very first time this year. I have watched the Pride of Bedlam perform at the Sea Devil Tavern basically every single time I have been to the festival, but I have never watched the pub sing. What's the difference, you ask? Well, the difference is the pub sing is when the band performs after the sun goes down and they just like incorporate all these cool lights and effects, and more importantly, they add a saxophone to the band. Which, look, you might argue this, and if you do, you're wrong, but saxophone literally makes everything better. Any song, any band, any performance, if there's a saxophone, I'm in. Why don't you let me go home? Yeah, yeah. Oh, I feel so broken. I wanna go home. We are home! As I mentioned early in this video, when I got to the last day that we were at the festival, I was tired. Okay, I was running on fumes. There was no amount of coffee or caffeine that was gonna keep me going through this thing, right? But I tried. I gave it a significant effort by stopping at the Night's Brew Cafe for the first time. So with exhaustion taking over, we made sure to stop and take a rest at this Moroccan-themed cafe and ordered a few drinks. And this is a great place to stop and get coffee and take a rest, because you know, this is a huge festival. Your dogs are barking, especially because even if you were wearing good shoes, your dogs would be barking, but you're probably wearing costume shoes to go with your garb. So they're howling, okay? They're screaming, they're crying. You need to stop a little while. The coffee and drinks that we ordered were actually really delicious. I know the coffee elsewhere at the festival is questionable at best, but this was actually incredibly tasty. Now I will warn you, okay? If you lounge too hard in this pillowy, comfortable area, you're not getting up. You're going night-night, okay? You're not seeing anything else for the rest of the day. So like lounge with caution, okay? Because it's comfortable.
Will I fall asleep here? Maybe.
The coffee is bringing me back to life.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm officially sleepy.
Nah, yeah. Wake up!
Ugh. Wake me up. Wake me up inside. I can't wake up.
If you watched our last video highlighting Highland Fling Weekend, you know that I watched a jousting match for the very first time. I know. As many times as I've gone, I've never sat down and watch the full thing. I've caught like little bits and pieces of the match because the jousting arena is directly across the street from the Sea Devil Tavern. So oftentimes, you know, Pride of Bedlam would wrap up and I'd kind of sneak a peek into the arena and then that was it. But I finally sat down and it was epic as hell. I am so glad that I got to watch this action-packed performance. You know, jousting at any Ren Fest is an absolute must. Despite the party atmosphere of the Texas Renaissance Festival, there are a lot of family-friendly things to do around the kingdom. And every time I strolled through the Enchanted Garden and then exited into the Enchanted Forest, I would always admire those huge swings. Now, I can't explain to you why. The child in me was just like, big swing, wanna ride, let's go. But never did. And let me tell you, it didn't disappoint. It's a very, very short ride. I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember how much it was. My brother-in-law paid for it. $5? There's something about that swing that is just, it's peaceful. And you do get hiked up pretty dang far, like when they're pulling you back for launch. Like it's almost kind of like scary. You think you're gonna fall. It's almost roller coaster vibes. And then they launch you and it is just, I don't know, it's a good time. Again, I can't explain to you why I love the big swings, but I experienced them for the first time and I highly suggest you do the same. Speaking of new, let me show you all the shiny new things we bought this year. We finally got swords this year. Every single year we pass by the Pirate's Treasure little booth that sells swords and we never buy anything. But this year we couldn't resist. So Matt got this one, which again, we've kind of shown these in our adventures with buying them in the last video. This is the Little King because yes, there's one that's bigger than this that has like elven script down the sword. This is Matt's sword. It's really, really cool. His is pretty, it's cool, it's heavy, we love it, whatever. More importantly, we need to look at my sword, which is a werewolf sword. Okay, I don't know. Okay, maybe it's not a werewolf sword. Maybe this is from something and I'm just not familiar with it, right? But around here, we're gonna consider this a werewolf sword because look at this thing. The details, first of all, the very tip of it, a wolf head. Now, if this is not giving the Wolfman Kane vibes, I don't know what is. And then you have this like spiral detail. Then you get here, right? What is this called? What are sword parts called? I don't know. Is this a hilt? I feel like this could be called a hilt. It's probably not, and you're gonna destroy me in the comments, but look at this. Another little wolf head, and they have a scene of like wolves on each side with like a forest. Then you have another wolf. He's howling down here. This is, stop. Like this is, I can't wait to get a little mount for this and put this on the wall. I'm more excited about this than I should be. Wait, there's more details. At the very, very bottom of the scabbard, another little wolf. How friggin' cool. Now wait, you didn't hear the best part. Matt's doesn't do this unfortunately, but mine makes the most satisfying like unsheathing sound. Wait for it. Now that's what you call ASMR. One more time? Yeah, I think so. It's so cool. Do I walk around the house just doing that, making that sound and swinging this around now? Yes. I'm a nerd. You should know that by now. For sure, a lot of places that sell weapons at the Texas Renaissance Festival, but Pirate's Treasure, these are very inexpensive. Like this sword was only $69. Now obviously I had to spend a little bit more to get like a little leather holster thingy so it could strap to my belt and I could carry it around all day. Totally worth it because look at the Whittle Werewolf. He's got two names. It's either the Whittle Werewolf or Larry. I feel like because I have that sword, I need to do like a photo shoot in a field, like in some epic fantasy gown with the sword and it's just, you know, do you see it? I'm seeing it. I have a vision. Now I just need a photographer. I'm gonna make this happen. You know, the magical thing about the Texas Renaissance Festival is that no matter how many times you go, you really are just gonna have a new experience every single time. And that can happen in so many different forms, whether it's shows, buildings, shopping, food, or the people you meet. You truly never know who you're going to run into.
I spotted Arthur, King of the Britons.
King of the Britons!
King of the Britons.
Talented performers, Dragonborns with a sense of humor, Art the Santa Clown, or a random guy that starts talking about pizza, but then proceeds to tell you that he teaches a class in the Houston area about historical fencing. No, seriously, that happened.
In a nutshell, what we do is we take historical manuscripts from Europe written around like 1300s and onwards on how you fight with swords. People way smarter than me have translated them, and we then recreate those historical fighting techniques. We have competitions, we have instructors come in from Europe.
So how do we
So
look
is this
into
something like just during Ren Fest, or is this like
No,
all
no, no,
year?
no, year round.
Year round.
Yep,
Okay.
Yep.
Out of Houston.
Like, this is what I do as my job. We're based on the west side of Houston, so like where I-10 and the Beltway intersect on the west side.
Okay.
That's basically where we are.
Is there plans for expanding this outward? From
We've
Houston?
got one location in the Woodlands, one location in Houston, and we're opening up a location in Texas City soon. If you Google sword to sword, like we're the only
Sword
ones.
to sword.
To sword.
You heard it here first. Sword to sword.
There you go, dude.
I'm hearing this, and I'm loving it.
Yeah.
Question is,
Yeah.
for somebody like me, that like athleticism is not great.
Doesn't matter.
So if I go in and I know absolutely nothing about this,
Doesn't matter.
You build it.
Am I
That's
good?
why they teach you.
So remember a few minutes ago I said that like like what we teach comes from historical fencing manuscripts,
Yeah.
right? There's a
Okay.
dude in the 16th century, so 1500s, and he has a quote that says, if this weren't this meaning sword fighting,
Right.
Yeah.
if this were not art, the strong would always win. If this was something like it's sword fighting, imagine our arms are swords, right? If it's all about strength and we meet together and you push me aside, oh my god, he's so strong, I'm losing, right? Extend your arm out though. But because it's not all about strength, I can hit the further part of his sword, this part of my... Resist. Come, fight me. Why are you so weak? Why are you so weak? Right? Right? Because of leverage and because of physics.
Again, the name of his company is Sword to Sword. They have 2 locations in the Houston area, and if you've wanted to do historical fencing, look no further. Sign up for a class. I'm sure thinking about it. And this right here is why I love Renfest. Again, there's so many great things to see and to do, but the people are what makes it. You're basically on an adventure that consists of a multitude of side quests. And I treat it as such because when I go with my friends, unless I go with somebody that has a set plan, like we just wander around with no set direction or itinerary, and we never really know where we're gonna end up. And that's how we always find the most random, amazing experiences. Speaking of meeting amazing people, I met a couple of you nerds at the festival this year. Some amazing pirates that I had the pleasure of sharing a meal with back in 2023, as well as a brand new nerd that I've never met before. And I want to thank you for taking the time to come say hi. You made my day, and I thoroughly enjoy talking to every single one of y'all. So, if you ever see me at the TRF Fairgrounds just stumbling around with a bottle of mead, don't be afraid to come and say hi. So if you've never been, I highly recommend that you plan your own adventure to the Texas Renaissance Festival next year for the 51st year. Suit up in your best garb and prepare yourself for the most immersive experience of your life. Here's the thing. Every time I'm at work, you're getting to the end of the work week, it's during fall, the Renfest is going, right? And people are around the water cooler having conversations, asking each other what they're doing for the weekend, and I always say, well, I'm going to Renfest. And they're like, again? Like, how could you possibly go that many times and still be entertained, still have something to do? But let me tell you, every single time I've gone to the festival, I have had a different experience. Some days I am doing a food tour, just trying all the delicious things that I can get my grubby little hands on. Other days I'm watching performers singing beautiful songs and playing with fire and doing all kinds of other crazy stuff that you'll never see other places. Some days I'm sloshing around in the rain, trying to survive, trying to remain with that good time feeling even though I feel like a wet rat. But the thing is, no matter what, even if I'm trying to keep my friends alive who have had maybe a little too much mead, it happens, okay? It's always a good, fantastic, immersive time, and I am fully looking forward to the 2025 season. Let me know in the comments if you went this year, what your favorite thing you saw was, and if you plan on going to the festival next year. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so when new videos hit the channel, you'll be notified. And as always, thank y'all for watching, and I'll catch you nerds later. I love that sound.
Cheers. Okay, so we just watched a show at the Thirsty Pirate Pub for the very first time, and it was actually really fun. We saw the Taste of the Seas, and then some guy aggressively hit on Kristen.
He asked me for my number, but I told him my husband already had it.
Well, wait, you think Michael Palin is conventionally attractive? Oh, God. Is my nose bleeding? Yes,
Mushroom hats and big booties. That's what we're here for.
it is. Big booty.
Big booty mushroom hat
hats.
girl. Big booty mushroom hat girl. Up, up.
Wait, do you think Michael Palin is conventionally attractive?
Michael Palin is conventionally attractive. Well, no matter what they say, he's conventionally attractive. Even non-conventionally, even maybe. I met Mitt Romney.
Sir Lancelot, run. She's dancing, she's closing the tankard dramatically. Wait. Dramatically, she's closing it. Yes. Wait, you think Michael Palin's conventionally attractive?
You think Michael Palin's conventionally attractive?
Ladies and gentlemen, this drink is for sugar.
Hear ye!